So I grew up in Finneytown, which is a suburb just outside Cincinnati. Um, Grew up me and mom and dad, and I have two brothers and a sister, all older than me, so I was a baby. My wife also went to Finneytown, so while we weren't high school sweethearts, we started dating shortly after. Have been married 33 years now. I have 4 children, a son and 3 daughters, all in the area, which is great. 2 of which work in school district, 1 in medical school, and 1 getting ready to graduate college. I work for the Cincinnati Fire Department. I am assistant fire chief. I'm in charge of all of our fire and EMS operations, so all of our service delivery falls under me. Growing up, mom and dad were very involved in the church. Even though we lived in Finneytown, we came to the west side, or the dark side, to go to church. I grew up in St. Luke's United Church of Christ on Glenmore Avenue, which no longer exists. My mom was the organist for 45 years. My dad was president of church council. Got married a long time ago now, it seems like, but have been very fortunate that my wife is probably one of the strongest people and one of the strongest Christians I think I've ever met. And I think that has a lot to do with her mom and dad. Her mom and dad have been my parents for a long time. My parents have been dead over 25 years. But her dad has been a great male role model for me, and I've been blessed with that. Yeah. I really started owning my faith at the birth of my son. I mean, it just really became real to me. Just seeing him and realizing how incredible that was. And then we were very fortunate to find this church. The whole the relationship aspect, I think was lacking for a while for me. Just you're just talking to God, having that personal relationship can get lost sometimes in other types of churches. Getting into leadership with the church, I've had a lot of leadership opportunities in my life. It seemed like the next way to share gifts, as well as also being mentored by Bob Stoll. Bob's been a huge part of my life and has really encouraged that and encouraged the involvement with the leadership of the church. Yeah. I would say the loss of my parents. That's always been really tough. I was 24 when my dad died, 31 when my mom died. So it was, and then having my kids, how much joy that would have brought them. Most of my children didn't know my father, and I would have loved to have seen how they reacted with him. My dad was he was one of the hardest working guys I've ever met. We owned a small printing business that I spent all my summers there. From young age working with Dad, and just really hardworking, really nice. Had an edge to him that he could put on, but just a really hardworking, loving man. He was a great dad. I was very fortunate. It's as much as you can plan and you can try to plan. You really have to give it to God. You really just have to realize that it's His plan. It's not yours, and that He wants what's best for you. That's really hard to do. Really giving those reins up, but it really turns out much better when you do.